I used to believe that there was a point where you could work on yourself enough that you would be a great partner or otherwise compatible for almost everyone on the planet. That was when I was a lot younger and quite a bit more naive because I now believe something somewhat the opposite to that. Now I realize you could be one of the best people on the planet who have put in decades of years of working on yourself, and there will still be people that won't be able to recognize your worth or that you just straight up won't be compatible with. So, when you're going through life and you're pursuing people or people are pursuing you, realize that it quite often doesn't have that much to do with you whether or not things work out with other people. Because even if you work on yourself a ton, you will inevitably encounter people who just won't be all that good of partners for you, or maybe there's something about you that's not great for them, or it could just straight up be logistics or other things that prevent you two from having a great long-term relationship. And that's okay. It's just something that we all need to realize. And I'm really glad that the younger version of me grew out of that, because that belief was, it was a very optimistic one, believing that you could work on yourself enough that almost you would be a good partner for almost anyone. But that, I mean, even when you think about that, it doesn't seem all that plausible. But knowing that, you should still work on yourself a ton, because that's what will open the door to you creating great long-term relationships with people. You'll just have to realize that even though you work on yourself, it doesn't mean that you'll suddenly be a great partner for almost anyone you encounter. That'll pretty much never be the case, because, hey, people are just into different things, so maybe there's something about you that makes them not find you attractive, or maybe they don't believe you're compatible for some reason, and that's okay. So instead, your goal should be to focus on finding people who will like you and approve of you as you are, with the amount of work you've already put in. That's what you should be paying attention to. Try not to take things super personally when they don't work out. That's what I used to do in the past. I always would blame myself because I would always think there was a level of work that I could put in that would have made things work out with that woman, or that maybe I did something wrong that I could have done differently. But once you've learned from a past situation, it's unhelpful to dwell on it any longer. Because once you've gathered everything from it, once you've learned from your mistakes or figured out things you could have done differently, if you keep dwelling on it, you're just wasting your time and energy, because you can't go back and redo what you've already done. So try not to engage in that unhelpful behavior, and try not to blame yourself all the time. You have to realize that attraction and romance are two-way streets, right? You can't romance yourself or attract yourself. There's always somebody else involved. So if you're constantly blaming yourself, that's not even accurate in the first place, because what about the other person? What about the things they may have done wrong? Or what about the mistakes they may have made? Or what about the things about them that steered maybe the dating experience towards ending? There's always that other person. So try not to focus it all on you, and try not to take all the blame upon yourself. It's just not helpful. Take it from me, because like I said earlier, I used to do that all the time because of that naive belief that if I just worked on myself enough, it would have worked out with that woman. But hey, that's just not true. There's so many times where things just won't work out for whatever reason, and that's okay. So your goal should always be to find people who things will work out with. That should be your goal. So if it doesn't work out with one person, okay, it sucks. It's not the ideal situation, but you should immediately turn your attention towards the future and finding somebody who things will work out with. That's a better use of your time. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video because I was thinking earlier today about how I used to have that naive belief, and figured it would be a good topic for a video, especially because there are lessons to be learned from it, which basically just not constantly blaming yourself when things don't work out, and just realizing that you aren't going to be compatible with everyone you encounter, even if you like them a lot. Even in some cases, if you fall in love with them. And that's okay. You have to realize that your feelings for other people, they matter to some extent, but they're not the be-all and end-all, because you can be head over heels for someone that you're completely incompatible with and that things will never work out with. And that's okay. So try to realize you need more than that. You need compatibility with them as well. And if there isn't any, then say, hey, I had a good time with them, things were fun for a while, but clearly there's no future here, and I need to look towards the future. And that's what you should do. Be willing to let go of people who just aren't great partners for you long term. And then turn your attention towards the future and on finding someone who will fit that need for you. But anyway, I'm going to end the video here. I truly hope you enjoyed it, and if so, the easiest way you can support me is just to like, comment, and share. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!